Hello there, viewer. Welcome to a new Let's Play with me, your host Tim. And today, we're going to start playing through Underrail again. Times 3. There will be some prep here that you can skip by adjusting the slider up here on YouTube to the appropriately segmented spot. We're going to prattle on about what Underrail is for a little bit, how far I've gotten it, assuming I've played it before, any Timisms we'll be doing as we play this game together, and we have a little bit of a prelude warning for you guys before we get started on this Let's Play, as life has proven to be rather difficult for me over the past few months. But if you don't care about any of that, once again, adjust the slider to the appropriate spot. The next thing we will do is character creation, and then we will jump into the game for a tiny bit. There will be several breaks here today because of health-related issues, which is what we're going to talk about right now for that warning thing. So let's go ahead and get started with the prep. A month and a half ago, viewer, I was diagnosed with something called acute myeloid leukemia. It is an extremely aggressive blood cancer. And I started chemotherapy just about a month ago in order to see if I could give myself more time. Thankfully, the cytogenetics for my type of cancer has shown that it is likely to go into remission after the induction chemotherapy treatment is done. And I will know the results of this about 1 or 2 days after my bone marrow biopsy is completed. And hopefully, after various consolidation therapies are done, I will have earned anywhere from 3 more years to my life to hopefully it will never come back again. I am lucky in that I have a type of leukemia that is known as inversion 16. It's a rare type to have, but it has a good prognosis. Once again, everyone, however, is different. There is no guarantee that I will live another 6 months, and if this comes back, it is extraordinarily difficult to get rid of. I do not want a bone marrow transfer either. That would be just simply too tough for me to take, I think. I will accept that my death has arrived as graciously as I can accept it. I mention this to you, viewer, for 3 reasons, or at the very least 2. I said 3 though, so we'll have to come up with a 3rd reason. Number 1, this playlist, indeed any playlist that I do from now on, might be the last and might not be completed on that note. If things become bad, I will let you guys know, but I apologize in advance if I don't complete some of the Let's Plays I am now trying to start. Life is cruel. It's not fair. But it is what it is. That's a dumb saying, but I can't change it. So hopefully we'll get at least through Underrail again together. Number 2, I will be having what's called intensification or consolidation chemotherapy. This will not require, assuming I am lucky, an extended hospital stay, as the induction did. But I will still be required to be there for a bit, a week. And I will be released home after this is done to recover at home. But as such, there may be some time that I'm not able to record because I can't record any videos up at the hospital. I can't bring my battle station, I think is what I've heard the term used as, with me there. And I don't want to record on a different system, like a gaming laptop or something of the sort. So I apologize for any space or lack of video uploads that occur. But keep in mind, I will be recovering at home. This will be rather difficult though, viewer, and there might be days when I simply cannot record Underrail because of pain or suffering, or because I'm having a medical emergency and need to go back to the hospital for some reason. Fevers in particular will be dangerous. Darn it, there was a 3rd thing. It was tip of my tongue, but I don't know what it was. I think I'll quickly say then as well that there will, however, be Assuming things go reasonably well, which is to say I tolerate the chemo somewhat and am able to make a recovery here at home without too much trouble, I will have a lot of downtime. I'm currently not doing any work. I am considered disabled, and as such will be on hopefully short-term disability. This will give me quite a bit of time to not do a whole lot of anything meaningful around the house other than record video games. So we should still have a backlog prepped going forward, or so I hope. So that is the warnings for you guys about my health and how I'm anticipating the future going. If things go well, we will have quite a bit of Underrail to watch. If things do not go well, there will be spaces here, and this might not be a completed playlist because Tim is dead. Hopefully, we won't get to that point, though. I mean, eventually we will get to that point, but hopefully I will have a few more years. Now, Underrail. This is not, obviously, our first time playing through Underrail. We have beaten this game 3 times on screen, and off screen I have beaten the game probably another 9 times with all sorts of different builds, all on normal mode. I love this game. This is one of the best games I have played. I reviewed this game a few years ago, and it was rather harsh on my review score. I am looking forward to potentially giving it another review when I am all set and done here, as this game is truly phenomenal, and a real work of love from Stygian Software. As such, you should know that the vast majority of what this game has in it, I think I have seen already, but Stygian Software likes slipping in new things on occasion that I've never noticed before, for example, so we will see if we get to notice anything new going through the game together. I own the new DLC, which I think is called Heavy Duty, if I recall correctly. We will be playing through that as well, which I am under the belief is about as long as the Expedition DLC is, but I'm not 100% sure. For us, the only thing it will probably impact is our character creation if we want to use the new weapons, which were introduced via the Heavy Duty DLC, but it is not my intention to do so. You guys should know by now that I like reading everything on screen. I will read all text. I often will stop and read descriptions of the items that we are picking up. I often will sometimes do voices. I will attempt to do all of these things as we play the game together again. I do so like the amount of effort that went into the dialogue in the game, and in particular the DLCs really have some amazing writing. On that note, Oh, I have a phone call. I'll be back, everyone. Oh, viewer. We're gonna talk a little bit about what happened after that phone call occurred, because it's been 8 hours since I last talked with you guys. Oh man, this is gonna be a rough next 5 months. Oh my goodness. When I had left off, I think I was talking about talking. So I do like reading everything, so we will read everything on screen. I like walking everywhere in this game, and I generally do not like accelerating the time as we walk around. Many other people who record this game do so. They put the speed up to max, and their character flies across the screen, getting into all sorts of trouble because they entered combat before they were ready. In my case, I like the normal movement speed. And what this means is that as we walk around, viewer will just have to find things to talk about, because it was going to take us a while to get from place to place. There might be times where I'm just doing a bunch of merchant stuff, selling goods from at different locations, in which case I will just cut the recording, come back and tell you how long that took and how much money I made, just in case we decide not to do that sort of thing on screen. Anything else? You should know that I have used the cheat engine in the past in order to do the merchant refresh option. I am intending to not use the cheat engine at all this time around, but I will not make that promise. If I do use it, I want to once again cut the recording. I'll let you guys know if I use it or not, and then what the results of that were. And I think that summarizes the Timisms, which I think means we're done with the prep. Okay, but before I hit new game, a really quick, viewer, this is a small taste of what's to come for me. About 5 hours ago, I had my bone marrow biopsy done. That was extremely painful. They couldn't get the needles into the hip bone very well. I have superhero strength bones. And it took about 40 minutes of pushing those needles around to finally be able to get some aspirate and a sample of my bone for the biopsy report. I am totally going to feel this tomorrow. It's going to be an extremely painful day. So we'll be playing some Underrail maybe tomorrow to try to distract myself from it, and sitting on cushions and feeling really sad for myself as I still can't taste anything thanks to the chemotherapy drugs. Alright guys, done venting. Let me put a break here, check the recording really quick, and assuming everything is coming out well, we'll make a new character together. So give me a second. Oh, good morning, viewer. It's time for us to go ahead and make a new character. Let's go ahead and do this. Time for one more run through Underrail. As I've hinted at, during the course of the summer of 2023, I began trying the game on the hard difficulty level, and I found I very much enjoyed it. It was very difficult compared to normal mode, but yet very rewarding. It really tests your ability to get through the encounters in the game, and I liked it very much. So we will be playing through the game on hard difficulty this time around. We will have less life, and healing hypos, and most healing items heal for less. Health hypos, and advanced health hypos in particular, heal for half of what they normally heal for. This affects only us, by the way, and not the enemies that we face. They will still heal fully from any health hypos that they use. Some creatures will be much tougher than they were with new abilities, and there will be some new enemies added to some of the encounters as well. I know I've mentioned in the past that you should expect me to die occasionally on normal mode, and we did die on normal mode in the past. Hard mode will have us die a lot more often. Do not expect this to be like an Iron Man. I am not good enough at this game to do that. So as such, expect deaths as we play through this game. The game also says that NPCs on occasion will act more intelligently. What this tends to mean is that instead of bum rushing you, the enemy might decide, hey, if I get around this guy, the next guy behind me can actually attack him. And as such, will attempt to maneuver into positions where other enemies can also hit you. So I like that very much. We should expect this to be harder because the AI is a little more intelligent as well. Finally, everything we sell is worth only 50% of its normal value. So there will be probably quite a bit of cutting the recording to sell things this time around. If only because now it's even more important that we sell things to merchants, because we get half as much as we used to get for doing so. Now, for the experience mode for the game. There is nothing wrong with either way to experience Underrail. Oddity will generally have you clearing out entire rooms, hoping to get oddity items off the creatures that you are killing. Oddity mode also has fixed experience items in certain locations. If you know where these items are in particular, then you can do what I call sneaking levels very effectively. In fact, on dominating, I think Oddity is probably the better way to play the game, since you can be guaranteed of a few levels early on, which are easier than if you were to try to kill everything in the game. Now that said, you're still killing everything in the game, even on Oddity mode, because you're looking to get these Oddity items off some of the creatures. So it's still tricky to play the game on Oddity because it doesn't spare you farming or grinding creatures on occasion, or that's been my experience. Pun intended. I myself am a fan of classic experience mode. This is going to be a little tough if we choose it for our hero, though, because we're not going to be choosing a great many subterfuge abilities this time around, so we won't get all that extra experience points. Say if we had taken traps, we can earn 1,000 or so experience points near the Rat Hound King, for example, by disarming all his traps. That said, I've never had a problem with Classic, nor have I ever had to go back and grind creatures for experience in Classic mode. Finally, on hard mode, because there are more creatures, they are of higher level. Classic also gives you more experience because of that as well. So, for example, in a few areas we might be fighting crawlers that didn't exist, or even a Deathstalker that wasn't there before. This is more experience points that you can earn if you manage to actually defeat these challenges early on, as opposed to Oddity, in which odds are, pun intended, you probably already have the Oddity items from those creatures and will not benefit from killing them at all. As such, we're going to play this game on Classic. Finally, the difference between Classic and Oddity is that Oddity mode rewards you with experience bursts, and it has that great dopamine feeling of you found something really rare. This is especially true for some of the encounters which are hidden, secret, like the Black Crawler, which has a unique Oddity on it that you can earn, well, obviously experience for. With Classic, it's more of a trickle of experience points. You're going to basically consistently be getting experience points as you level through the game. They're both fine ways to play the game. Having played Oddity quite a bit more and having witnessed this game improve the amount of Oddity items, the drop rates that you get from them, and add more Oddity items to the game, they have attempted to make these both equal. I still prefer Classic because it avoids any grinding that I feel that I have to do otherwise. I have killed every single Bladeling in the mine twice and still not received all of their 2-point Oddity items. I've had to kill the Hoppers in the very beginning portion of the game for about 30 minutes before I was able to get the Dragon Tail from them, for example, for a 2-point Oddity item in the very beginning portion of the game. I do not like grinding mindlessly on creatures, and as such, we will play on Classic mode for our character. Okay, viewer, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So, in the past, I've offered choices to you viewers. It's a type of character that we would play, but we will not be doing so this time around. Last time, I got a few requests to play a Psychic character, as I do not play them. I've always felt that Psychics take the game down a peg on difficulty, making it a bit easier. This is, I feel, true even after the massive amounts of psionic changes that occurred to try to bring it in line with other abilities. I think it's a lot more fairer and balanced now, but I still think Psychics are extraordinarily powerful for what you get for them. As such, I was never really in the mood to play a Psychic character here with Underrail, and I wanted to show that it was possible to beat the game with a character who was not min-maxed and who did not take psionics. It is my belief that this is still the case even on hard mode, having gotten through the game on hard mode, or close. Well, I didn't beat the game on hard mode with any of my characters, but I don't foresee there being any issues unless something really horrific was waiting for me in the deep caverns, for example. In any case, we will be making a psionic character today, and I'll be playing a character that I was showing off occasionally during the summer of 2023. We're going to play me this time around. I'm here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, good old Decker. He was the guy we played through the game last time with. I was tempted to play through the game with Garrett or Decker this time around, just to show you the differences in hard mode. But we'll play with me this time around. Oh, there's Garrett. That's pretty good too. Geralt. J. Dirk from the wild. Oh my goodness, I forgot I went through the effort of making that the character's portrait. How about that? Very old C64 game. He was going to be a throwing character, but he's not who we're using it for this playthrough. It's going to be the last picture, isn't it? The very last picture. Sherlock Holmes. Sly Boots was a choice I was going to possibly make. There I am. My goodness, viewer. I had hair. Chemotherapy has not been kind. Alright, so... Tim, of course. And now our stats. So, I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure I'm taking Dex, Agility, Will, and Intelligence. And the 6 point, I think it's going into... Alright, mental note, game crashes. When I hold tab to take a look at the Underrail builder. Alright, so, it's 1 point in willpower. We are playing a psionic character. 1 point in intelligence. I like to think I'm somewhat intelligent. Sometimes. A point in dexterity. A point in agility. And a point in strength. This is because we're going to be using spears as our weapon that is not a psionic weapon. And as such, we need a little bit more strength to guarantee we can wield all the different types of spears that are in the game. You'll note right away that this is not a min-max character. We are not lowering anything. The internet will tell you this is a gigantic mistake, and that at the very least we should lower our perception to 3. I don't like doing that though, viewer. I like showing you guys at home that you can play through the game with a thematic character, an Underrail, on hard, at the very least on normal, without needing to min-max your character. You don't need to do it. Every single point you take away from something hurts you in some capacity, and every single point you put in something helps you. Min-maxing is a very fine, by the way to play the game. There's nothing wrong with doing so. It's just that you will weaken your character in some aspects. And if you've never played the game before, especially, you don't really know what's in what rooms have all the traps in them, what rooms have all the ambushes in them, because they're going to kill you with the low perception. For example, you might miss secrets that you would be happy to find if your perception was higher. If your constitution is 3, everything is going to kill you on hard if you don't position yourself well. You're going to be reloading the game very, very often. Now, this is not the case if you've played through the game multiple times, and many of the people who play through this game on dominating min-max their characters. And to be fair to them, I can't imagine not min-maxing your character on dominating mode. You basically have to play the game flawlessly if you want to go through the game on dominating, from what I have seen. So dominating, however, is not for me. My 1 or 2 times trying it over the summer, it was just too tough. And I was like, nope, this isn't for me. It's for other people. I'm fine watching other people play through the game on dominating. Hard is where the difficulty feels about right for me at this point in my life. So with that said, here's our current stats. 6 strength, 6 dex, 6 agility, 6 will, and 6 intelligence to start us off. For our skills, so I do have the heavy duty, I think that's what it's called, DLC installed, but I will not be utilizing the weapons in it. We'll be sticking with melee weapons for our character. I'm a big fan of, in this game in particular, putting as many points as possible into the skills you start with, as opposed to scattering your skills around. Once again, there's nothing wrong with scattering your skills, but you better know what you're doing if you decide to do that. The game really rewards you for focusing on your character. But if you do know, in particular when it comes to technology or subterfuge, what those breakpoints are that you need to hit to get a trap, or unlock certain doors, or make certain pieces of equipment, you can't go too wrong scouting your points. Just, in my opinion, always improve your offensive skills to max every level, or rather improve any ability that you're using to do damage with or you're using in combat. So for us, that's melee. every single time. We're going to put 5 points in that. And our psionic abilities, of which we're going to be taking 2. Metathermics for us. My plan for Tim is to use fire spells. Early on, we won't have access to the amount of fire spells I want, so we will be using cold spells to start, or cryogenetics, but we will move over to pyrokinesis at a later point, and then not use cryogenetics ever again. We're also going to use time-related abilities, so temporal manipulation for us as well. No social for us, which is such a shame. I would love to take one of these skills, but I'm just not going to be able to find the points for them, unfortunately. For our defense, we are taking some dodge and evasion. Arguably, with the low agility we have, we shouldn't be taking either of these. We should be relying on line of sight to keep us safe. But I'm not very good at that all the time, so we will take some dodge and evasion. As usual, when it comes to characters I build who are dodge and evadey, however, we will not be leveling dodge to max. At a certain point, when this hits about level 90 or so, we will stop putting points in dodge for the rest of the game. This is because we will no longer need it. We will be able to use uncanny dodge to guarantee we avoid melee strikes from enemies, and at the same time, we'll hopefully be able to use the sheer amount of movement points we have to keep away from melee enemies, or use fire to make them run away from us, depending upon what they are. Evasion, though, we will max this every single level, similar to melee, because it's very important I don't take a sniper rifle shot to the face, for example. And although our agility is helping us a little bit, not that much, we will still, I think, our life will be saved several times, but continue to pump evasion throughout the game. For subterfuge, we'll take lockpicking. For some very early on health hypos and the like. And in particular, for the DLC expedition, in which we can use lockpicking to gain a free, better jet ski than any of the junk jets that we would otherwise start with. Yes, it's that important, viewer. The Aegis jet ski is a very good jet ski, especially if we're going to be using melee, since it's a sit-down jet ski, and we can use our spear as a lance while riding it, if I recall correctly. Sorry, I said pickpocket, and I put the points in lockpick. There we go. We are taking lockpicking as well, so we can get into some of the locked doors and crates. I'm fine not taking hacking. For those other 15 points, I guess I should quickly describe hacking and lock and pickpocket. Most of the time, these are used to get you into obviously locked or hackable boxes and crates for extra loot for the most part. There's one or two oddie items that require at least one of these two skills for you to access it. You can probably get away without having the oddie items, but I think there's a 3-point cyber module, which requires lockpicking or hacking to access it inside the Cortec warehouse area, for example. If you don't have either of them, I don't think you can get that oddie item. Might be wrong, but there might be a key that lets you access it, but I can't remember at this moment. In any case, we're not playing with oddies, so it's not as much of a concern. But I have played characters without any subterfuge whatsoever, and even on hard mode, I find that I do not need the things that are within those locked crates. As such, I'm going to sacrifice hacking. We will not take stealth either, we should not need it, and we will not take any traps. We will take a little bit of technology. We're going to take mechanics to start. I want to be able to make our own spear going forward, as it will be very useful for dealing with some of our enemies. And now for feats. So we're going to start by taking Paranoia. It will increase our detection by 20%, which means we can find traps a little easier. We gain 5 points of initiative, which is very useful because we're not taking stealth. So if we end up walking around the corner and combat starts, we at least have a better chance to be the one who acts first. We have also a decreased chance of being critically hit by 3%, useful because, well, we're not going to be the most resilient person once we take psionic conditioning. And finally, we get an increase to our weapon and unarmed damage against stealth targets. Now, that is not psionic damage, but if we do walk up to someone who is stealth with our spear, we can stab him in the face, and if we hit, it's an extra 30% damage with that initial strike. So we're taking this. And then, I think it's sprint, but I don't remember. Let me cut the recording really quick. Nope, it's nimble. So we're going to be grabbing nimble. Reduces our armor penalty by 15%, and we gain 15% bonus to dodge and evasion if our armor penalty is at 0. This means that we can wear light armor, effectively, something like a rat hound cloak or coat, and our armor penalty will be 0 for wearing it. So we gain a little bit of protection, and we gain a little bit more dodge and evasion. Okay. So that is our starting character, everyone. Let's go ahead and get into the game. Alright, last topic, of course. Earthquake repairs. What's the situation at the south tunnel? Gotta dig deeper to plant the explosives, or we risk more damage to the tunnel. Almost everyone is working shifts up there. Shouldn't be too long now. He nods. Gorski? How's the security looking? I got one man at the cave exit, and that's enough as far as I'm concerned. Automated security is strong there, and as long as we know the crossroad and cave cover clear, no one can sneak up on us. Also got one man at the underpassages. He's been ordered not to open the gate no matter what. The last thing we need right now are those bloody lurkers sneaking up on us. Everyone else is up at the platform securing workers and tunnels. Good. Good. If no one has anything else to add, that will conclude this council meeting. Actually, just one more thing, in case you weren't informed already. I admitted a new citizen to the station. That Tim fellow? Yes, I think he will be a good addition to the station. He and Wenzel are still at the range, but they should be done any moment now, I believe. You put too much trust in your tests, Tanner. All I care about is how he handles live action, not how many points he got. Well, we'll find out soon enough. Best put him to work immediately. We need all hands on deck right now. Indeed. That is all. Vera? Gorski? An unexpected yawn interrupts Wenzel. He instinctively raises his left hand to cover his mouth, forgetting that he is wearing a respirator. A tiny smile creeps up on your face due to this very fact, yet you understand after so many hours of testing, these kinds of lassos tend to sneak up on people. Oh, excuse me. He picks up where he left off. So, as far as I'm concerned, Tim, we're done here. I got a few other things to do, but unless you'd like to have another go at the testing range, you've got no reason to stay here any longer. So we don't need the tutorial viewer. I've never done the tutorial. I won't tutorialize you. We can describe any of the game mechanics in case you guys forget how they work, but I'm not imagining there being any trouble. I'm feeling pretty tired, and it's hardly a secret you are too. Besides, I can't wait to check out my new room. Skip the tutorial. I have no doubt you'll like it. I have yet to see any newcomers complain. Nothing more to say than congratulations again, Tim. And welcome to Southgate Station. Now go and get some rest. See you around, Wenzel. Alright, viewer. Heads up, the game starts zoomed in at 150%, so we will be playing the game mostly at 100% all this time. Let's get started with this a little bit. At the very least, for this, for this episode, viewer, you should expect us to do a lot of talking, a little bit of prep, but not a lot of combat. I don't know if we'll get to the tunnels, or at least clear the tunnels in this particular episode. Let's go to get started. So, we got here a broken pixel. This colorful mosaic doesn't seem to represent anything in particular. I wonder if there's a secret that hints at. Our footlocker has nothing in it. Decent looking little bed. We have a little eating area for guests, and a little work area. Ironically, this feels about the same amount of space as my bedroom and den in my own house. Only I have another room over here, which is the kitchen and living room. Nothing in our shelves. A compass. I will never need the compass. North is always this way. So we'll just leave it here. 200 credits and a private quarters key card. Personal computer. Security scope, Tim. Personal. Access level, full. Personal messages. 2 messages, right? Let's read about keycard from Wayne. Hi. I fixed your door, so the keycard should work fine now. In case you haven't found it yet, it's in your desk. See you around. And welcome from Tanner. Congratulations! You have passed all the tests we presented you in the past few weeks and have now obtained full citizenship in Southgate Station. On behalf of the entire community, I welcome you into our fold. Visit me in my office in the Commons as soon as you've rested, so we can discuss your duties in the coming days. Alright, let's check these doors really quick. The doors, these lockers. We are starting with Rathound leather armor. Better than our shirt and pants. What's it say, by the way? It's not much, but it's barely going around naked. Is it, though? It doesn't do anything. There's no armor on it. Arguably, the 2 pounds could actually really matter for you. Although, well, there is no armor penalty, so I suppose there is that. This armor is made of Rathound leather. No matter how hard you try to wash it out, the faint stench of this filthy creature remains. Some mechanical resistance, some cold resistance. 10% armor penalty means we don't suffer armor penalty. I guess we should look at that really quick as well. Is that C? A heads up that your armor penalty is applied to your amount of movement points in your stealth if you possess it. As such, the higher your armor penalty, the less free movement you get in combat, and the less stealth you have access to, so you're more likely to be detected. As such, things like nimble are very important if you're trying to play a stealthy character, or I think they are, at least. 3 health hypos, they only heal 40 hit points for us. Normally they're 75. And 5 bandages, which heals 70 health over 7 seconds. I think they heal 100 normally. We're going to use burst. I'm never going to be using stealth. We will be using pickpocket. Okay. Let's head out to the great world of Underrail, shall we? You guys should know by now that I also like lockpicking. I like locking the doors and shutting doors as I leave rooms. There's no reason to do it as far as I'm aware, but I do it all the time. I'm paranoid about someone breaking into my home and stealing my stuff. Nothing in that locker. Red means if something sees you interact with it and you weren't supposed to, and you're not supposed to, you get in trouble. We don't have a key for that door. We don't have hacking anyway, so we can't unlock any of these doors. Oh, I see. This is the shared showers. Bathroom, then, I take it? Oh, more showers. Oh, that's interesting. There's no bathroom on this floor? Guess you poop in the shower. That's a bit awkward. No, I never noticed that before. Hanged rat. Let's take a look at that later. Yeah, there's no bathroom on this floor. That'd be a nightmare. You gotta rush to the elevator to get to a different floor to use the restroom. Alright, well, we know we want to visit the Commons to see Tanner, so let's go ahead and get that done first. Of course, we search the shelves. And them today. And here's the bathrooms. Not a fan of not having bathrooms on the floor where your bedroom's at. If you wake up and you gotta go, the last thing you want to do is wait a few minutes for the elevator to arrive. Great many urinals compared to toilets. I'm guessing there's a lot more dudes here than girls. Well, let's say hello to everybody. Denzel, did I tell you the one about the dude who did the range completely drunk? Hey, Tim. How's it going? I hear a south tunnel has collapsed for miles. I guess all those visitors are stuck here for a while. You guys also stuck here? What's in your pockets? Don't worry, though. We'll go ahead and free them if I'm allowed to. We can get a rubber sole or a knife mold from this guy. Knife mold it is. You better... So, I don't feel guilty using the pickpocket ability that we possess. It is insufficient skill. It is very important that you use the skills that you took in this game to get every type of advantage that you can. So, since we took pickpocketing, that means we pickpocket everything. 17 credits. It might be a few weeks before we can clear the south tunnel. What will help motivate you? Nothing in your pockets. You already have nothing in your pockets. That's fantastic. You're already heavily motivated. What's up? What's up is the very light load you carry for not having food in your pockets. A stuffed bat or a burger? We'll take the burger out of his pockets. That's kind of nasty. Who carries burgers in their pockets? That's unnatural. Let's report this guy. Underrail Express ticket. Valid for a single journey in both lower and upper Underrail trains, regardless of destination. Features a highly advanced security hologram that is nigh impossible to forge without specialized equipment and access to the master hologram, from which all others are replicated. So this is a free 15 Stygian coins, for example, that you can use to take a train once someplace. Mushroom brew, an empty bottle, or 28 bucks. We need the bucks more than we need the ticket, so... Jack Quicksilver. Haven't seen you around here before. You stuck in this hole now as well? No, actually, I'm new here. Name's Jack Quicksilver. Where you from, Jack? I'm not a citizen of any place, if that's what you're asking. I travel around a lot, but when I'm not on a train, I spend most of my time in Core City. What do you do for a living? Are you a trader? Among other things, yeah. Are you looking to trade? Yeah, show me what you got. Jack Quicksilver sells some stealthy items. In particular, he's also selling lockpicks. We could probably use a handful of these. So, why don't we take, or trade, for 2 standard lockpicks and 1 MK, a 2 lockpick, which is 12 bucks. Nothing else of interest that he's got. Thank you, Jack. And now we can put this here. We can't pick his pocket. I'll just say that right now. We have insufficient skill for that. You met Arlene during your testing period. She's in charge of food preparation and rationing. Ha! We used to make fun of Tanner's stupidly high standards when admitting new people. Not the end of the world if we got someone imperfect, we said. And here you are. Biggest earthquake is on day 1. Very funny, Arlene. I was only kidding. Don't take it too seriously. Anyway, what do you need? So how bad was it? The earthquake. For us, not that bad. The south tunnel collapsed, so the train is out for a while. The station itself didn't suffer any major damage as far as I know. I heard it's much worse up north. Something about a Union freighter crashing and getting buried on a side rail near Core City. Man, I can already imagine all the vermin crawling out of their holes to take a bite out of that cake. And I'm not talking about rat hounds. So, what else is new besides the earthquake? Worski's gathering up his squad. Don't know what they're up to, but they're armed. Any good rumors? I guess Junkyard still hasn't gotten rid of old Chopper. One more victim found in pieces. It's not Junkyard that has old Chopper, to my knowledge, though, right? That's Camp Harthor that has Chopper in it. Chopper's the guy with the kukri knife, if I recall correctly. He's a really nasty encounter if you weren't expecting him, and no one's expecting him to start with. Who's that dandy over there? We're talking about this guy. Over there? Oh, that's Ethan Landford. Oh, what can you tell me about him? He's a handsome man. Comes to Southgate Station from time to time. Always dressed as sharp as a razor. He always is flirting with the ladies, no exceptions. I see him entertain quite a number of them, well, myself included, with some unusual psionic tricks. Tricks? Well, he's a temporal manipulator. It's one of those psi abilities, disciplines, But the thing is, he does I've never seen anyone else do before. He can manipulate time, but only for specific objects, like slowing down a fly so it moves its wings in slow motion, or making things hover in air, that sort of stuff. It's all parlor tricks, fun and unusual, good to attract the ladies. His good looks and charisma makes him stick around, though. That's his real magic. Know anything else about him? Where he's from? What does he do? Not much. He's talkative, but reveals very little about himself. When you think about it, no one knows where he's from or what he does. He usually comes alone. Maybe leaves with a girl, maybe not. Depends. Always drinks fizzy water, yes. Has that temporal manipulation thing going for him. That's all I know, really. Oh yeah, dresses as sharp as... Oh wait, I already said that already. Yuck. Viewer may still try drinking soda, even though it has no taste. I miss my fizzy water. Thank you, Arlene. I have to go now. Arlene will sell food to us, but we can steal a bunch of food at the start of the game, and I think that's probably a better use of our abilities. Heads up when it comes to pickpocketing, in case you've never seen this game before, that you do not get in trouble for actually doing the pickpocketing. You only get in trouble if you pickpocket more than you're allowed to take. I will show you that perhaps here. Let's see. So for example, this guy has a single throwing knife. Do you see the meter on the lower section there? Because it did not fill up all the way and is not red, this means that we can take this throwing knife off of this guy without invoking, without him knowing that we've pickpocketed him. And as such, we will not get in trouble. Over time, when you pickpocket someone, that meter will slowly begin to decrease, and you'll be able to pick other items off that person if they should remain in the area again. And the doctor has 15 credits, a capsule, and an unsaturated psionic catalyst. We will not be having biology for some time. For quite some time, so I'm not interested in any of the psionic, the crafting components for it at the moment. We could use the credits a little more. We'll take them. Notice now, by the way, how it turns red. If I was to take either of these items with pickpocketing, we would immediately enter combat, and the entire Southeast Station would be hostile to us. We'd basically have to reload the game at that point. We're looking for health hypos if we can get any off these people. We're not going to today, but a little more credits will go a long way to help us out. Let's also save the game. Some sort of teaching room? Barrel! Nothing in them. Either of them. Alright, let's say hello to Tanner. The man behind the desk is Hadrian Tanner, the counselor who admitted you to Southgate Station. Even during your first encounter with him, he struck you as an unusual-looking individual. Setting aside his impressive stature, one finds it difficult not to notice how his thick, bushy hair and beard envelop most of his head. That, in addition to his opaque glasses covering his eyes, which you've never noticed him without, means that you can see very little of his face and its expression. His somewhat dirty scavenger outfit, which he wore earlier as well, clashes with the clean, finely furnished office, suggesting that Tanner probably does most of his work in the field. As soon as he finishes typing, he raises his head and reaches out to shake your hand. His big hand, tucked into dark brown gloves, makes yours seem like that of a child in comparison, and you especially feel his large fingers to be twice as thick as yours. His deep voice feels distant and calming as he addresses you. Congratulations once again, Tim, and welcome to our small community. You scored very well on our tests. No small feat, that. I'm sure you'll turn out to be a valuable and respected citizen, but more importantly, I hope you'll find peace and kinship here, which are so hard to come by with the chaos surrounding us. I've yet to get to know the other Southgaters, but I have a good feeling I'll fit in with the rest of the crowd pretty well, especially as I put their stuff in my pockets. He nods. I believe so too. People from many different backgrounds reside at this station. Whatever you find in their pockets will probably help you understand them a little bit better. Whatever your interests may be, though, I'm sure you'll find someone who shares them here, including pickpocketing. I hope the earthquake didn't disturb you much and you were able to rest a bit from all the testing, for you have much work to do today. Events have transpired that require your attention. Are you ready for some field work? How much damage did the earthquake cause? Not much damage to the station itself. There were no casualties, fortunately. Regardless, the railroad tunnel has caved in, so we're cut off until the rubble has been cleared up. It is nothing that you should be concerning yourself with at this point in time. Now, back to the business at hand. First, you can have your weapon back. Lucas at the armory should have it. And while you're there, you might want to drop by the shooting range. Since you'll be doing some field work today, it might not be a bad idea to warm up in case things get ugly. Speak to Gorski if he's there. He'll help you set up for some practice sessions. However, that's entirely up to you. Okay. Now, field work. Down in the tunnels below our station, just to the north of Crossroad Caves, lies a series of abandoned outposts. These outposts were built by another station a long while ago for the purpose of scouting and defense. In time, they fell to decay. I want you to retake them, so that they might once again serve the same purpose. However, in order to do so, you'll need to activate the main power generator that's located inside one of them. Harold from Engineering Sector thinks he knows how to get the generator operational, so he should be your first stop after we're done here. As far as I'm aware, there are a total of 5 outposts, plus the one with the generator. I don't know if it's possible to activate all of them, but try to activate at least 3. You may also want to talk to Jonas at the Crossroad Watch Post. It's down in the tunnels just outside the station. You'll be passing through there anyway. He's one of our most experienced scavengers, and he's probably seen more of South Underrail than any of us here. He'll surely have some useful advice for you. How well is this task credited? It's 300 credits. Additional 150 credits if you activate all the stations. Furthermore, you get to keep anything you find there. Alright, I'll be off then. Oh, and one more thing before you go. Pascal, our station's chief physician, wanted to see you, so you should probably pop down to his office in the medical sector when you have the time. Got it. See you later. We do not have the pickpocketing to pick his pockets either. Let's see how lucky we get today. Is there anything in these barrels? Sometimes we can find some crafting components in them. Let's see if we get lucky. 8 capsules. We will maybe eventually be using them for some biology, but not until much later in the game. Not until the end game, because I'm intending to take biology. Now, a little secret. It isn't really a secret. And that is the kitchen. Arlene will see you interacting with any of this, and the whole station goes active and fights you if you try to steal anything from the kitchen. But they can't see you. They don't know that you're taking it. So what you really do is shut that door. And then we can just raid the kitchen. Cave hopper steak, some canned meat. Canned meat, under pie, cave hopper steak. Rhineham barbecue, canned stew, burger burger, stuffed bat, canned mushrooms. Not bad. Decent mix of foods. Now, if you're playing the game for the first time, I might even recommend you cheat a little bit here. You don't have to, obviously, and of course, well, you probably shouldn't cheat. But what you can do at this point is you could export your character, then import them from the main screen instead of creating your character, and the game basically starts you out as if you're playing the game for the first time. You'll be able to come back here and loot the kitchen again, basically, getting all sorts of new food. And you can do this as many times as you want, for example. Plus, every time you talk with Hadrian, you earn 100 experience points. So you've talked with him 10 times. You can also level up before you head on, if you're playing Classic Mode, before you head on out there to the caves. We will obviously not be doing that cheating, though. Okay, so we need to see Harold. He is on the engineering floor. So we're not allowed to interact with those. There's a camera here. We will not get in trouble. I don't remember the little cigarette disposal there. That's kind of cool. Goggle frame. That could prove useful. And a single battery. Nice. Howdy. You must be the new guy. Name's Harold. I'm in charge of this little workshop here. Oh, nice to meet you, Harold. I'm Tim. So, are you looking for something specific or just looking around? Tanner tells me you have a way to restore power to the outpost to the north. Ah, right, he nods. I remember taking a look at the power generator there a while back. I couldn't do anything about it back then because I didn't have this. He rummaged through the boxes that are on the table before producing something resembling an energy core. Here, it's a flux controller. If you insert it into the slot at the front of the power generator, it should get it running again. After that, you ought to be able to reactivate all the outposts. I'm afraid you'll have to do that manually, though. You see, each of them has a switch that cuts off the power in case of a hazard. Got it, thanks. I'll give it a try. Alright, we don't have to really talk with him again at the moment, so we'll see if I can pick his pocket. Insufficient skill. Did you know that this particular model has a built-in taser? It was removed in later models. All the ones we'll be facing will have tasers built into them. I hate those guys. 5 credits and enough pickpocketing to take it. You better believe you're going to do it. Can I search the barrel? We can search the barrel. Yes! A dirty rag. We'll eventually, I think, be making Molotovs, so that would be useful for us then. Some scraps, not allowed to search the desk. In the desk. Hey, man. Want to watch the arena? Oh, nice. Hey, he ate some hardcore chips. He's hanging out back here. We weren't supposed to watch the arena in here, so keep this quiet, okay? Yeah, sure. Wait, what do you... I have nothing on TV at the moment, though, man. You gotta turn on the TV. You want to watch the arena. We could say hello to Ezra at the moment, but we don't have a reason to talk with him. So let's go instead and talk with Pascal. He was at the medical facility. Oh, we also want our weapon back. Well, let's do the medical psionics first. Goodness, I feel so sick. Another hour maybe before I can go out and try to get some food. Now, it's a bit silly here, but if you interact with the shelves, all of Southgate Station gets angry at you, because this guy sees you rummaging through shelves, which is silly. But there you have it. Not allowed to rummage around the shelves to see if there's any weights there you can use or something of the sort. People think you're going to steal them, which of course you are. Of course you are. It's still a bit weird. Alright, the bodybuilder doesn't have anything on him. And no, you can't get away with killing someone here without all of Southgate Station knowing, thanks to the controlled zone we are currently in. If anyone dies here, they will assume that we did it, which is a fair assumption to make, because they won't die otherwise. Ah, hello, Tim. First of all, let me congratulate you on your admittance to our little station. I'm sure you'll love it here. It's good that you came. I actually wanted to talk to you about some of the results from all those tests we did earlier. Oh my goodness, if it was like a bone marrow aspirate. God. I can only imagine the horrific pain that you go through for some of these psionic tests. Is there something wrong with me? No, quite the contrary. Sorry if I scared you. You see, test results show that you have a certain amount of psionic potential. How much potential? I'm not exactly sure until I run some more DNA tests. But it's there. Allow me to explain what psionic potential really is. It's a relatively rare, inheritable, complex genetic trait that triggers development of certain otherwise latent components in the brain. It allows a person to perform some subtle psionic invocations, such as influencing the minds of others, as well as some not-so-subtle ones, such as causing radical temperature changes and telekinetic manipulations. Oh. How did this genetic trait come to be? No one's really sure. Research indicates that it's a relatively recent genetic mutation, but it sure could not have been a random one. So many things about it are just too complex and convenient to be anything but artificially designed. Ah, the watchmaker. Yep, gotcha. There are problems with the hypothesis, though. Former Biocorp's head of genetics research, Dr. Hal Roach, outlined these problems best in his thesis. I won't bore you with the details, but the essence of the problem is that with the technology that we currently have at our disposal, creating, testing, and integrating genetic structures of such complexity is simply not possible without a colossal amount of trial and error work. So basically it's if this was designed, we didn't do it. Something else did it to us. So much trial and error work, Roach argued, that even if you combine all the genetic processors in the world in his time, let them work on the subject for the entire time of their existence, they would still be extremely unlikely to produce these results. Furthermore, Roach points out that the structures of the brain where innervation that allows psionic activity takes place were never studied in such depth. Even though we know plenty about how the brain as a whole works, there is a large gap between top-down research performed by psychologists and neurologists and bottom-up research done by neuroscientists studying neurons and receptors. Inside this gap lies psionics, but due to the brain's nature and complexity, those who wish to study it need to start from either of these directions and slowly approach the middle. So, you see, it's a bit of a mystery. We know much more about how to make it work than how it actually works. Interesting. Indeed it is. Is there something else you wanted to know? How do I realize this potential? You must first disable your psionic inhibitor. It's a neural structure in your brain that prevents you from innervating or accessing your psionic projection centers. We assume it was designed to prevent infants from unwittingly harming themselves or those around them. There are ways to perform this innervation by deep extended meditation, but this can take years and years. We have more efficient methods nowadays. I kind of wish there was a talent, like a skill you could take when you hit like level, like let's say 24, which would give you the ability to use psionic talents at that point if you did not use the pill here. But to my knowledge, there is no such thing. So the only way you're going to be able to access magic in this world is by taking the pill. He reaches into his pocket and then opens his hand before you. You see a large red pill. It'll take care of the inhibitor right away, but there is one side effect I'm obliged to mention. The majority of the users experience immediate and significant weakening of their immune system. And when I say majority, I mean everyone. To put it bluntly, it will severely affect your health. Therefore, the choice is yours. Is the process dangerous? Painful? No, not at all. Well, maybe a bit dangerous for some, but it doesn't hurt at all. Much. You might be a bit woozy, but that's it. Do I need to prepare somehow? No, just go ahead and swallow it. Let's do it. You force the oversized pill down, and for a while nothing happens. I don't think it's working. Tim? Tim, are you alright? Can you hear... So first off, let me quickly say that falling like that, it's a good thing we didn't die. Falling from standing on a hard tile floor is a great way to kill yourself. Believe it or not, you can do serious harm to your head if you fall on it in such a way. So, I'm glad we didn't die for taking the pill. Good, you're awake. How are you feeling? Oh, my head hurts. What happened? Disabling the inhibitor seems to have caused a psionic surge. But you're alright now. While you were out, I took the liberty of performing some more testing to determine the actual levels of your psionic potential. And you have this decent predispositions for developing psionic powers. And if you train your mind further, you can become quite good at it. Also take these. He hands you a pair of syringes filled with a blue liquid. These psi boosters will help increase your psionic recovery rate. Basically, they'll allow you to use more psi abilities within a certain period of time than you normally could. They're fairly cheap, work fast, have the major side effects, and are equally useful to beginners and experienced psionics alike. There isn't a reason not to have a couple when you're going out there. Then he hands you 4 unusual inhalers. And these contain desaturated psionic inhalants. They'll replenish your psionic reserves, and also help neurohormonal regulation and alleviate synaptic fatigue, basically after extensive innervation. Just like muscles recover from fatigue with the help of the body's glycogen reserves, so does your mind have its own finite psionic equivalent. So how do I start learning psionic abilities? You'll have to talk with those already at it and see if they'll teach you. We have 2 very good specialists in our station. Quentin is well versed in metathermics, which is the area of psionic development that deals with instigating rapid temperature changes and chemical reactions. He used to be one of Biocorp's researchers working on new applications of psionics. You'll find him at the Agami level. Bison is our martial arts expert. He can teach you psychokinetics and how to effectively use it in unarmed combat if that's something you're interested in. He is usually in the gymnasium across the hall, but I think he's helping with clearing up the tunnels right now, so you'll likely find him at the station platform. Thought control disciplines is considered by many to be nefarious and is also the hardest to get really good at. I'm not sure who here can teach you it. I've heard rumors that Ezra, the chief of engineering, is actually a powerful mind controller, but I don't know if that's true. Most people here, including me, know nothing about Ezra, so it might just be some of them are making this stuff up. And then there is temporal manipulation, which purportedly allows one to control time itself. I've never seen it in live action. It's a discipline few practice. However, I've heard that a man that goes by the name of, what was it? Ethan Lanford. Yes, Ethan Lanford. I've heard that he is a practitioner of the discipline. He's not from around here, but he does visit Southeast Station from time to time. In fact, I just saw him in the bar a few moments ago. I'm sure Arlene knows more about him. Ask her if you're interested. Anyway, I have to get back to work now. So, do you have any more questions? We're going to get more side boosters and inhalants. Most doctor's offices should have them in supply, one included. I can sell you some if you like. I'll keep that in mind, but I have other business to attend to right now. Catch you later, Pascal. All right. So let's get these on my hotbar. I guess we'll stick with what I normally do. Where's my... Okay. Unguarded locker. I'll go ahead and take a foot locker. Nothing in it. Shh. Let him rest, right? Shh. Quiet. Gotta search your pockets, Miss Doctor. A bandage. I feel too guilty taking this because I think she wants to use it on him, so she can keep the bandage. Let's walk around and open up everything. Ah, another bandage and health hypo, though. I will take those free items. God. Triage room for care. Oh, man, that's awful. I mean, it's wonderful. You have doctors right here who are able to help you. But I hate rooms like this. I spent so much time at hospitals, viewers. You have no clue. I think overall through the course of my life, especially now that I've done one round of chemotherapy, I've spent roughly about, I'd say 4 or 5 months total in hospitals as an inpatient. Okay, so let's go to the pens area next. I'm going to put a break here after talking with Quentin. I'm getting hungry, so I need to go out and see what I can find food-wise. I don't have anything here I can eat for breakfast. I don't think we have the pickpocketing to search his pockets. We'll check. Maybe not. You come up to a rangy man with long hair who is cutting open the head of a large monstrous creature, formerly an untamable beast. It is now but a stiff volunteer to post-mortem dissection, to science. And soon enough, the man makes a final incision, after which he pushes his hand through to extract a single long, sharp spine. Greenish, sticky fluid dribbles out to the opening, and all over the floor as the man wipes the spine clean before laying it aside. And that is the moment in which he notices you. Careful, you don't want to get in contact with its toxin. He turns to cutting through the creature as he talks with you. My name is Quentin. Don't bother introducing yourself, I know who you are. You're Tim, and you just got admitted to the station. I shake your hand, but you can see why that wouldn't be a good idea. What kind of creature is that? It's a burrower. It's one nasty creature that digs around, laying eggs all over the place. They are more numerous deeper underground, but you can still find a few roaming the lower Underrail and surrounding caves. If you meet one, be careful. It will spit thick, hard spines at you that are coated with poison. But the most dangerous thing is its ability to rapidly produce eggs when it feels threatened. And before you know it, you'll be surrounded by hundreds of these little buggers. And what are you doing exactly? I'm collecting its poison glands. We can use those to produce other chemicals or crossbow bolts. I'm told that you can teach psionics. Ah, yes, that is correct. Are you interested in learning, perhaps? Yeah, will you teach me? I heard you scored highly on Tenor's test, so yes, I will teach you what I can. If you perform one little task for me. Figures. Indeed, nothing is free. You see, I was conducting some experiments on rat hounds a while back. Was quite close to a breakthrough as well until a little accident happened and Brett forced me to get rid of the creatures. Now I cannot finish the experiments. Not here anyway. What kind of experiments were you conducting? I was working on developing a substance that would transform the muscle and other types of tissue into a potent mushroom fertilizer. Wow! What happened? Well, I never really had an appropriate place to keep the rat hounds, so I drilled breathing holes into a couple of those large crates and kept them there. It Turns out I underestimated them after a while, and they chewed their way out of their predicament. What do you need me to do? I prepared the final version of the concoction, filled a set of crossbow bolts with it. I need you to go out there into the caves, shoot a rat hound with it, and once it's dead, collect a tissue sample from the rat from around the wound. If you don't have a crossbow, you can borrow mine. It's in the locker over there in the corner. It's not like I get to use it much these days anyway. And if I do this, you'll teach me for free? I'll teach you one psi ability for free. You'll have to pay for the rest. I'll do it. Excellent. Here are the bolts. Good hunting. Nod and leave. We do need the crossbow though. Okay, go here. Now we have no crossbow skill, which means hitting a rat hound is going to be extremely difficult to do. Crossbows also don't prefer you not to be shooting something in melee combat, which is likely to occur because rat hounds. So, we'll need to be careful when it comes to actually using the crossbow, and hopefully we can shoot enemy rat hounds that can't reach us. That will be the plan, at least. Here's hydroponics. To my knowledge, there's nothing for you to really interact with here except the late poppies. But people get angry at you if you just take them, so we're... Oh, there's a barrel over here. So we're not going to be robbing them of those very precious late poppies. Ooh, 7 bottles. We'll take some free bottles. Okay, so next, let's go back to our own private quarters. We'll store some of the stuff we've been picking up, because inventory management is something I'm big on. I'm going to put a small break here. When we come back, we might talk with Ethan Lanford and purchase a psi ability from him. Let's see, so we don't need... How do I... There we go. All that stuff can be stored. Alright, viewer, I will be right back. Give me a few seconds. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Let it be known that sausage is not something I can taste. Oh, it's so sad. So, as such, my breakfast choices are very bland this morning. I've also decided how we're going to do this in terms of the upload schedule. So, my intention is to upload these, at least these initial Underrail videos, as when I'm in the hospital. So this means I will not be able to respond to any comments, nor will I be able to, like, do anything based on what you guys are saying, or for the most part just respond back to you guys. I do not have access to my standard YouTube account while I'm at the hospital. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was here on YouTube before Google owned it, and my login for YouTube is different than like a standard Gmail or Google account. It's not the same. My YouTube account is linked to Google, but it's not a Google account. As such, I can't log into it when I am not attached to this computer of mine. I have access to, when I'm at the hospital, a tablet, but this is an Android tablet and thus has a single Google login. In any case, I won't be responding to viewers, to your comments while I'm up there. I do apologize if that's a little bit annoying. Okay, well, we see Gorski, so let's talk with him. Oh, one more time, just in case I didn't mention it. So, I will be uploading these initial 6, I'm planning, Underrail videos, 1 a day when I'm at the hospital, come next week, the week of December 4th. From the 4th to the 10th, I think, I am going to be at the hospital, and then I'm home when all that is over, recovering. And recovery will not be easy, but at least I'll be here and potentially be able to record some more games for you guys then. Alright, let's pick up where we left off. Hey, Gorski. The tall, imposing figure of this battle-scarred veteran towers before you. You met Gorski before. He's one of the counselors that interviewed you when you first arrived. So, you passed all of Tanner's little tests and exercises. That could not have been easy, but don't think you're some kind of hotshot now. You are yet to deserve the privilege you've been given. I'm looking forward to the opportunity. We'll see. Why are you here? I'm here for some target practice. Go ahead then. Yeah, but how do the councils work? Corsi's eyes gradually move across the range, crowned by a constantly intensifying frown. He is alone with you. He can't make anyone else do this. I guess I'll have to do it. Alright, look here. It's simple. You use the console to set the target distance, right? Then you start a session. The session will track your hits and misses automatically, so you can check your progress while you shoot. When you've had enough, end the session. What distance do I set? Well, it depends upon the weapon now, doesn't it? If you've got a rifle, you can just set it out to max. Otherwise, try 8 yards. Experiment a little. Thanks, Gorski. Try not to hurt yourself. Okay, well, we actually don't need to target practice because we're not using ranged weapons. And Lucas has our weapon. A short man rises from behind the desk with a grenade case in his hands. The heavy case meets the top of the desk with a thud, raising your eyebrows, which in turn makes the man's face turn to a smile. He moves his glove and shakes your hand with a strong, perhaps too strong grip before addressing you. Don't worry, Tim. I ain't gonna blow us up. Nope. Anyway, Vincel told me you're staying with us for a while. Yeah, I guess so. Well, friend, make yourself at home. You and Vincel are good pals? Pals? We're brothers. I'm sorry, I never noticed the resemblance. Well, the respirators don't exactly help. But yeah, we're bros. We came to the station together some years ago, and when they saw how cool we were, they wouldn't let us leave. That's exactly how it went. I got my weapon back. Of course, it was the 5mm pistol and some ammo, if I recall correctly, right? This one? He produces a pistol that is in such bad condition people would pay to get rid of it. It was a 5mm pistol, but not that one. And whose? Oh, this has got to be Newton's gun. Heh, my bad. Here you go. Here's your weapon. There. With that out of the way, may I interest you in a couple more things? Now, let's see your stock. Oh, 1 second. Mind doing me a little small favor? Harlan, one of our security officers, has requested an extra auto turret over at the underpass's exit. That and a traditional trainload of ammo, as if he's preparing for a lurker invasion. Maybe he is. As interesting as the lurkers may be, Harlan, he tends to, well, he's paranoid from time to time. I suppose watching over dark hallways non-stop gets a guy after a while. Then he gets all quaky. Quaky? Quaky, like a Quaker. Or a hopper? Scared. You dig? Dig? Dig. To get. To understand. Damn, Tim. We've been living all this time. Damn? Hey, there he is playing slackjaw. Tell me where to find him. There's an entrance to the underpasses at the metro station above us. Can't miss it. Go down the stairs and you'll find him there. See if whatever spooked him this time has a genuine concern, and if so, I'll send him everything he needs. It's just, I don't want us hauling all of this ordnance back and forth because of a couple of thugs, or a rat hound. Alright, let me see what you have in stock. So, are you selling a spear? That's the most important question I have. You are selling a spear, but that's a lot of money. It's the crappiest spear we could ever see here as well. But it is a spear. Let's see. Well, viewer, the knife does not quite as much damage, honestly. Okay, so let me explain a few more things of how I view items in this game. The durability divided by 100 tends to be an accurate description of the level of the item that you are looking at. So, for example, this spear is a level 1 spear, the weakest spear we could hope to get. This dagger is a level 6 dagger, which is pretty decent at this level of the game. This dagger is a level 2 dagger. You can see the difference in damage as well. The level 2 does 7 through 12, this one does 9 through 15. If I'm going to choose a weapon, then I kind of want the steel combat knife, the level 6 one. But I don't know if we have the money to trade for it. Let's see if we can. We need more things to sell him. Alright, let's see. What do we have that he might purchase? Okay, that works. So we're going to give him a pistol and all of the standard rounds we have. In return, we'll gain this dagger. and a small amount of money. Done. Now you can just ask for a dagger from him, as you saw in the... No, I came here with the dagger, not a gun. But the dagger you're going to get is a level 1 dagger. So I recommend, or maybe a level 2. So, I mean, I just recommend take the pistol and sell the pistol for a better dagger. So there we go. And he's now selling 9mm autocannons. These are a new weapon added for heavy duty, I believe, once again is what it's called. A level 4 and a level 6 version of this stuff. As for everything else, we don't have the money for it. We just sold everything we had for, or most of what we had. Oh, which reminds me, by the way. Let's do that. Alright. We are now armed and dangerous. Let's go back up and talk with Arlene one more time. And sell her any of the food I don't think we're going to be needing. Hello, Arlene. Back for a drink? I like to order something. So we will not need the canned stew. She's buying 4 foodstuffs as well, huh? Canned mushrooms. How much is that? 30 credits. Let's take that. Hold on to the rest of our food. And we have 302 bucks. So let's go ahead and talk with Ethan. Before you is a handsome young man whose attire portrays him as someone who prefers charm over harm. Whether his looks deceive or not, though, is a question that has yet to be answered. In his hand, a glass of fizzy water. He calmly addresses you. And may I help you? Are you Ethan Lanford? And you are? Tim. I recently moved to the station. Good, good. Yeah, I'm the man you need. What can I do for you? I was told that you are someone who might know a thing or two about temporal manipulation. Ah, yeah, that is true. I'm a temporal manipulator, a psionic whose expertise lies in the discipline of temporal manipulation. If you are here to learn new abilities to expand your arsenal of psionic powers, then you're talking with the right guy. What can you tell me about temporal manipulation? Ah, it's a psionic discipline that allows one to manipulate time in many different ways. Accelerate it, decelerate it, suspend it, reverse it. Before you get your hopes up too much, the effects are on a local level, meaning that one's reshaping or even disfigurement of the structure of the universe will not have large-scale consequences, but rather only affect a small part of space-time, just the very part that is being manipulated. I understand if you're finding this difficult to comprehend, it's not an accessible subject, really. Regardless, it is an immensely powerful discipline in the right hands, but it's sadly underused. Oh, why is it underused? To become a master temporal manipulator, one needs time. Time to manipulate, time to practice, time to experience. The first one, it is in the very core of our universe, space-time. We manipulate the temporal, but for space-time to remain in balance, the spatial must react. The second one, as with any skill, one needs to extensively train, develop his abilities in order to become proficient at them. This takes time to practice, but one is also practicing on time itself. But the third point, that's the most important one, the thing that sets temporal manipulation apart from other side disciplines. Temporal manipulation, on its most basic level, does not possess the destructive power of other disciplines. No pyrokinetic fireballs or accelerated ice shards. No ways to drive your enemies derailed, cause them to fight each other or against the horrors plucked from their very own minds. Manipulating time requires time. Requires temporal experience. With other disciplines, even if one doesn't understand their meaning, one can achieve much through simply understanding the mechanics. With temporal manipulation, mechanics only have meaning if you understand the passage of time. It is something one might not be, in fact, definitely cannot be, able to truly understand without sufficient experience. And that comes when one has just the right amount of time available to him. Most have plenty, too much, and that is why they waste it. Those who don't, they chase it, but they might have plenty available to chase. Now those who have experienced it running out, those realize its true value. You're implying that it takes an old person to be a good manipulator, but you're looking pretty damn young. I do look young, yes, but I have experience. I may be one of the best, which I admit doesn't say very much considering there aren't very many of us out there, but I still have a life ahead of me to truly acquire the experience I told you about. However, I have been taught by the best, you see. Yes, yes. Arthur Kane, my mentor, the true master of temporal manipulation, has helped me understand certain important things much earlier than I normally would. But that is a whole other story. We'll talk about Arthur Kane a little later. Anything interesting going on? Not much, unfortunately. The cave-in has all of us trapped here, so like a lot of people, I'm waiting for the tracks to get cleared before I can move on. But it's not much of a problem. I've always liked this place. I'd like to learn some new abilities. Certainly. I can teach you temporal distortion, limited temporal increment, and psychotemporal dilation. Well, tell me about distortion. Temporal distortion is a powerful ability that allows a manipulator to cause damage by exploiting a phenomenon called temporal recoil, the natural tendency of time to revert to its most stable state upon being manipulated. While the time between distortion and the manifestation of the resulting recoil will always be a fixed interval, the more one applies temporal distortion within this period of time, the more energy the recoil will have, and will thus cause more damage to the affected matter as space-time is being rapidly untwisted into its original form. Fast-thinking and skilled manipulators can use temporal manipulative distortion to utterly devastating effect. In other words, the more stacks of this you apply to a target, the more damage it will do when it eventually corrects itself. It will cost you only 20 Stygian coins to learn this ability, but since we're in Southgate Station, I'll accept 50 credits as well, whichever you have. Here you go. Give him 50 Southgate Station credits. Excellent, excellent. He pockets some money. Now, unless we want to be subjected to odd stares from the rest of the patrons, I propose we move to one of the other rooms we can train in relative peace and quiet. We could use one of the video rooms. We could work. I suppose most of the station residents are out clearing the cave-in. I'm right behind you. Lead the way. Okay, and that's all there is to it. Remember to use it wisely. Temporal distortion, everyone. Our first psionic ability. How do I access this again? There we go. Places a debuff on the target that lasts 2 turns and deals 6 to 8 mechanical and 6 to 8 energy damage when it expires. In the case the target is already affected by temporal distortion, its damage will be increased by 20%. A newly applied temporal distortion will have the same duration and damage bonus. Damage dealt by this ability ignores shield and 50% of damage resistance and threshold. This ability cannot critically hit. And viewer, we've been playing for like an hour already. I always forget how long it takes to go through Southgate Station if you're talking with everybody. So I do apologize for this, but we're probably not going to get to any combat this episode. So we've been to all of the other places except for the cave tunnel exit, so let's head there. And a big moment is here, viewer. We're going to step outside to the docks first and check 2 things. We're not here to talk to anybody, but there could be someone out here that we may... I mean, it won't matter. I'm not reloading the game no matter what happens here. And I don't see her here. There is a chance, to my knowledge, when you come out here that you will see Coral here. There are these 2 different people in the game, Coral and Booth. They are exclusive, so if one is present, the other will not be. Coral sells these charms or trinkets, which promise to have some sort of special hidden effect if you have them equipped and you use them. I like her. She has a good amount of lore to her. Booth will sell you a tattoo, which adds a permanent buff of some sort to you. The buff is very slight, but it's always in effect, this passive. And as such, most people prefer having Booth, because you can actually see what you will gain, even if it's slight, as opposed to Coral, who you can't. In any case, I don't see Coral here at the moment, so this does not mean that she's not present in this game, but it means that I don't see her here at the moment. So at the moment, it could be either Booth or Coral who was in our game. Now, for the second most important thing. This shelf. Sometimes you can get very lucky and find some tabby boots on these shelves. We have to search them when nothing's looking at us. That includes the dog. Okay, it was a quick search, and I did not see anything there that I liked. I think it was a machete handle. A machete handle and some metal scraps. And some gasoline there. Okay, so we can't search, I think, this shelf. We cannot. This gun turret will see us, so. So much for some free boots. The man greets you with a warm smile. Ah, Tim, good to finally meet you. I'm Malcolm. How can I help you? I need to get out into the caves. You didn't get your access card yet, right? It should be right here somewhere. He starts looking through the drawers. There it is. He produces a red access card and passes it to you. Now listen here. Here's the procedure. When you want to leave, you let me know, and I'll open the inner gate. You then step into the transition room, and I close the inner gate and open the outer gate, and off you go. Alright, now, when you want to get back in, use the card I gave you on the console outside, stand in front of the camera so I can confirm it's you, then I'll open the outer gate. Earlier, we used to do bioscanning every time someone passed, but since no one ever showed up positive, it became a nuisance. Understood. So you going or what? Not right now. There's one thing I want to check really quick. I don't remember if I did check. I want to check the medical room and see if there's anyone on the surgical bed here. Really quick. If so, we want to ask about that person. There is not. Okay. Alright, then before we head on out there's one more thing I want to do really quick. Or two more things. I'm going to pop this up so we can get rid of those little numbers. Pop up the question mark because this is blinking at us. This is the tutorial and tells us how to do everything. Or a tutorial. Let's go back to the engineering lab. Sell that thing of gasoline we picked up. And then we'll head out into the cave system. What's up? You have any stuff to trade? I got plenty. Take a look. Oh, he doesn't want the gasoline today. Alright, but he will take the machete handle. $7. Is gasoline sold then? It's a chemical. It's probably Quentin probably wants it. We'll come back to him when we've acquired a rat hound bit. Alright, Malcolm, open the gate, please. I'm off to the caves. He nods. Oh, here's a tip for you. If you find yourself surrounded by rat hounds, use flares to scare them away. They'll be back, though, so try not to stick around. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. You're good to go. Do I actually have any flares? I do not have any flares. That's interesting. Did I miss them? Normally you get at least 2. Oh, one more thing before we talk with Jonas. Our feats. So we picked up Psi Empathy when we took the red pill. Allows the character to learn and invoke Psi abilities, but their base health is reduced by 20%. We are a great deal more fragile now, with only 48 life, so we cannot take very many hits. We lost, what would that be then? 8 hit points? We would have had 56 normally. And yes, we have to get rid of all the fog of war. That's the most important thing when it comes to video games. Knowing where you've been. Secret over here. Passage down. We'll be back here later. Alright, let's talk with Mr. Jonas for a bit. An old man wearing an old coat, old pants, and old boots introduces himself with an amiable smile. Ah, it's a young Tim. Off to do some hunting? Yeah. What is this place? This is the Crossroad Watch. The only way to get into our station from the tunnels is through here. What are you doing here? Just sorting through some goods I scavenged today. Want to take a look? See if there's something you like before I take it back to the station? Offer a fair bargain. Perhaps later. Suit yourself. I hear very knowledgeable about the tunnels, and I could use some advice. Been crawling through them tunnels all my life. What do you want to know? What can you tell me about the abandoned outposts nearby? The nearest one is just north of the Crossroad Watch. They stretch to the east and to the west from there. They were built by Omega Station, but are somewhat in ruins to put them out of business. Plenty of rat hounds there now. Oh, if you're heading there, could you do me a favor? I was scavenging near those outposts a while back, and I think I lost my old digital watch there. It was about this big and made of metal. It doesn't have a strap, so I kept it in my pocket. It must have fallen out somewhere. Just keep an eye out for it. If you bring it back, I'll make a good bargain for it. I'll keep a lookout, but I can't promise anything. That's all I ask. How much damage did the earthquake do to the surrounding cave tunnels? Well, a lot of the passageways have caved in. I'd use dynamite to clear them up, but Tanner confiscated all of it to make it available for clearing up the south gates, the south tunnel. Can't say I blame him. The metro's more important. The passage to the lake is clear, though, if you're up for some fishing or something. Can you tell me a bit about the creatures that inhabit these tunnels? Well, there's cave hoppers, mole crickets, rat hounds, side beetles, and rarely shadow crawlers. What critters are you interested in? What are these shadow crawlers? Vile, awful insects that crawl around in them cave walls, all quiet and sneaky, and every single person who plays this game complains about them. They surprise their victims by injecting them with a good, healthy dose of paralyzing venom. Then retreat to the shadows until the poison makes you stiff as a rail. Then they eat you, and everyone complains. I myself am a huge fan of crawlers. I love how they were designed and the AI that went into them. I think they're one of the more amazing enemies we have to deal with later on, or early on, depending upon where we go. Don't start quaking yet, because they are really rarely seen in close vicinity to Southgate Station. But out there, in case you notice things are getting a bit too quiet, be on the lookout. What are side beetles? Now that's a critter you just want to steer clear of. Scientists call them azure something because of their blue stripes, but the rest of us just call them side beetles or side bugs for obvious reasons. They are bugs that can sling all kinds of psionics at you. If you bump into one, you might be able to take it, but it'll literally give you a headache. If you run into two of them, you better start retreating while you can. At least they are not that fast, so you should be able to evade them. If you run into three, it's probably already too late. You see, the weird thing is, not only do they hit you harder when they are in a group, they also start throwing crazier and crazier stuff your way the more of them join the fight. And if there's also a Goliath around, then you're in psionic hell. You absolutely must fight them. Try to get close and personal. They are not comfortable with exposing their massive brains to sling psionics while people are near them. Not even the Goliaths. Instead, they will either try to gain some distance or will just bite you. Their bite is far less dangerous than their psionics. Goliaths have big horns, however, and they can easily go through a man. The side beetle usually hangs around the mine shrooms. If you're in an area where those are plentiful, be on guard. They're a bit like the cranium rats from the old Planescape Torment game, in that the more enemies, the more of them there are, the more dangerous they are. But they're coded correctly here, unlike I think in Planescape Torment. What are rat hounds? Rat hounds are ugly, smelly, mangy, disease-ridden dog-sized rats. You can find them anywhere, and if you can't find them somewhere, know that they'll get wherever it is that you're looking at eventually too. Individually, they're not so tough, but they move around in packs, sometimes hordes. They are very good pack hunters, so don't let them surround you. If you're in a pinch, throw flares. They are deathly afraid of fire. What do you know about mole crickets? They're probably the smallest of the big insects. They're aggressive and will attack you if you come close, but they are not that dangerous. You can just stomp them out, smash them with a crowbar or something. Their bites are weak and you should be fine as long as you have some armor on you. They are also acidic, so don't let them nibble away on you too long. You'll feel the burn. And what are cave hoppers? They are harmless little critters, quite tasty if cooked properly too. You'll generally find them near lakes and other wet caves, because that's where their favorite food, lake mushrooms, grow. They can be hard to hunt down sometimes because they are fast little buggers and can crawl through small crevices you wouldn't think they would ever fit into. If you're looking to catch one or kill one, the best tactic is to hide near a patch of lake mushrooms and ambush them when they come to feed. Alright, Jonas. Thanks so much, man. Let me ask you something else. Yeah? Is it really true that you descended to the bottom of the deep caverns? Listen, youngster. There's not a place in this accursed underworld these legs haven't visited. I've descended as low as one can go, even took a peek into the dreaded fusion tanks, and... well, maybe I'll tell you more over a drink sometime. Alright, Jonas. Thanks, man. Let me see what you have to trade before I head on out there. So he's not looking to trade anything I possess. And he has nothing I'm interested in, with the exception of the health hypos, but I'm not willing to trade for them. Alright. And viewer, let's search these lockers really quick. Shotgun shell, another rag. We will stop here. So thank you all for watching. So we're done with the initial introductions of Southgate Station. We picked up a few quests. We actually gained a third of a level, just about, from talking with people. We've got some equipment, and hopefully we'll be able to handle the rat hounds, which will be up ahead in the next episode. Thank you guys again for watching. Maybe I'll see you guys then. And take care, everyone.